What's happening with you, man? It's your boy Profhit, man. Profhit. 1/4 of Solo Mob, aka the Pillage Mafia. Here today, talking about another book, one of my favorites, all-time favorites, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Might be mispronouncing that. If I am, my apologies, but one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite books of all time. We are on episode 2 of our series, talking about some of my favorite books and how it relates to our album. Chapter 1, The Pillage. And this book is a little less relation to Pillage, as more of following your dreams, sacrifice, trusting a higher power, the universe, however you feel or look at it. I read this book at a really hard time in my life. My sister had passed, and this book was always in my queue, but something told me to just pick it up and read it, and I did. And it really gave me the motivation and the inspiration to live again, to keep going. And that's why we're talking about The Alchemist today, because this is our first album in almost 15 years. You know, we all grown, we got families, we are the providers. You know what I mean? Everything leans on us, starts and finishes with us. So, you know, it's hard to find time for your passions, your dreams, when you have to be the provider and all those things. So, this book, I feel, will resonate with anybody that has a desire for more, a desire to be free, to follow your dreams, your passions. And I want to kind of jump into it and read a little from the first part, page 10. But ever since he had a child, he had wanted to know the world, and this was much more important to him than knowing God and learning about man's sins. One afternoon, on a visit to his family, he had summoned up the courage to tell his father that he didn't want to become a priest, that he wanted to travel. People from all over the world have passed through this village, son, said his father. They come in search of new things, but when they leave, they are basically the same people they were when they arrived. They climb the mountain to see the castle, and they wind up thinking that the past was better than what we have now. They have blonde hair or dark skin, but basically they're the same as the people who live right here. But I'd like to see the castles in the towns where they live, the boy explained. Those people, when they see our land, they say that they would like to live here forever, his father continued. Well, I'd like to see their land and see how they live, said his son. The people who come here have a lot of money to spend, so they can afford to travel, his father said. Amongst us, the only ones who travel are the shepherds. Well, then I'll be a shepherd. His father said no more. The next day, he gave his son a pouch that held 3 ancient Spanish gold coins. I found these one day in the fields. I wanted them to be a part of your inheritance, but use them to buy your flock. Take to the fields, and someday you'll learn that our countryside is the best and our women are the most beautiful. And he gave the boy his blessing. The boy could see in his father's gaze a desire to be able himself to travel the world, a desire that was still alive. Despite his father's having had to bury it over dozens of years under the burden of struggling for water to drink, food to eat, and the same place to sleep every night.
Yo, what's up? We're back again, episode 2. I'm your boy, Big O, and we're here with my boy, Profhit. This time talking about The Alchemist, a great book, Santiago, the journey, exchanging everything for something else. Man, so I remember when I got the news about Big Sis passing, and like just knowing a little bit about the book, this journey that you're going through, and it's been 15 years since y'all as a group put it together. Was that the catalyst, or what was it in this book that made you grab it and bring it up to this day?
I think it's the plot and the story of this book is a ever present theme in my life, in our lives collectively. You know what I mean? Like, the author kind of has this saying that the universe will conspire to give you all the things you desire and work for, but work is the key word. Like, you have to work for it. You have to take that journey. You gotta get out there. You can't be afraid. Otherwise, everything will be the same and you'll be stuck where you are 5-10 years later, or however much time. And, from the excerpt I read, there's a father who is not trying to project his fears to his son or hold him back, but just kind of stating what he feels. But when he realizes his persistence, he's like, okay, well, take this and go do what you do. So I kind of look at that as that's been my entire life story. But now, even still, we've had to sacrifice a great deal to be able to do this. Like, we working 12 to 15 hours a day, and then taking them last couple of hours before going home and getting in the studio, and losing sleep. I mean, everything is a sacrifice. There have been a lot of sacrifices that were made to put this album together, and we're going to continue to make sacrifices to give it a platform that we feel it deserves. And yeah, man.
Yeah, okay. So, listen, love it. Coming together, putting any project together, when it comes to art, takes time. And we see in today's time, a lot of things go viral, a lot of things quick.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us some of the challenges y'all have been having, or yourself, just between those 15 years of coming up until this album? I mean, because a lot of people don't know, and it might pop up, it might not pop up in the album. Who knows? You got to cop it.
Man, a lot. I mean, loss, grief, life, new life, birth, everything that you can think of negatively, but as long as you wake up, you got air to breathe, you got a chance to right wrongs, stay present, and stay hustling, stay hungry. So, that's pretty much what that gap has been and consisted of. But overall, the word that is gonna always be present is resilience. We all have a resilience. We've all conquered fears, overcame struggles, persevered, and just stayed with it. You know what I mean? And I think one of the most important things between all of us is being a role model of perseverance and resilience, and that if you do have a dream, if you do have a talent, you have to pursue it. Like Nipsey Hussle said, man, if you know your purpose and you ain't doing nothing, you wasting air. So, you got to get up and get at it.
All right, well, listen, I don't know if it's okay to share, if you want to share some of the struggles that you've had with the past, few years. Just a lot of people don't share. And if you're okay with it, just share some of it so people know. What real resilience looks like. And I'm not saying what people go through, they're not resilient, but being kind of cryptic about it still don't tell the people the shit you've had to drag, the shit you've had to carry.
I mean, yeah. My dad passed in 2017, which provoked me to move back to the Bay Area, take care of the family. Then my sister passed, taking care of her kids and my mom. And then this year, my mom passed. So, and that's not everybody that we've lost, but just, an incredible amount of loss and grieving and all those things. But there was a lot put on my shoulders, but I feel like I put it there myself because, there's just certain things that I wouldn't allow to happen or transpire without being there and being that person to handle things. So, man, but it's life, everybody don't get dealt the same cards, but shit, you can either cry about it or you can just get up and hustle. So that's kind of me, taking breaks from music when I have to, but always finding my way back.
Yeah, see, what people may not know is we've been rocking together since second grade, so we family, and those losses was difficult for all sides. Just my father passed last year, so I know what it's like to be a business owner, trying to open up your stuff, trying to move forward. Still got to provide. Now becoming the head of the family. The passage that you read about Santiago's father giving him a blessing. A lot of people are not getting those blessings from their parents or maybe even their father. Mm-hmm. So these type of things, going out on a journey on your own, not saying that you need a blessing, but it's just a little bit more easier. It makes it tougher when the strong man passes, but when it's your turn, you make sure you're strong. So if you could just give us a little bit of the Alchemist to the album, to you, about how the theme of destiny and self-discovery is reflected within this album.
I think with this album, like the music we were making, I'm working with a few different artists in different mediums, and I've allowed them to listen to the album, and a lot of people say like, this don't sound like the Bay Area, or it doesn't sound like a Bay Area artist. And that's kind of the theme of my life, like never really sticking to the status quo and always journeying out to find our own sound. But what people are going to hear when they listen to this album is nothing that they've heard before, and a bunch of different personalities coming together and clashing, but making this symphony of chaos that we call the Pillage. And it's gonna be a ride. It's gonna be a crazy ride. There's gonna be a lot of crazy things said, but as relation to this book, it's just again, the resilience, the persistence of a group of people trying to get to a final place, which is the album and the presentation of the album and the acceptance of it and what we will do next. Solo Mob, Solo Mob, Solo Mob, Solo Mob, Chapter 1, The Pillage, December 6th is the date. And you can find it on all streaming platforms. And yeah, man, we coming.